All right, there's our first run at it today. 1,002 for a average on that load. Hell, I pushed one of them right off the target. I couldn't believe what I'm looking at here. So I avoid it. I say, okay, we'll load these things up again. Let's do it right. You done something wrong, boy.
Well, it looks like the 1.235-inch overall cartridge length, COAL, fits the old black pistol. Let me read on the side. Kimber. It's a Kimber. Okay, so let's see what we can do here.
Okay, let's look at this. Something's wrong here in River City. 1009, okay. Shot number 2013, 984. All right, so it only recorded 3 shots. I'm missing 2. Oh, for Pete's sake. What's that? Okay, low 84. High 1,000, said average 1,002. Stream spread 29. Standard deviation 15. Charlie screwed up here somewhere. Something's wrong. I have to load this again. Double check that I'm not messing up things, and we'll run it again for a second time. All right, turn off you. Then there's our second go at it today. 999 feet per second. Look at them. Looks like Indians surrounding a wagon train. Terrible.
Well, let's see if we can get some numbers here. Kimber again. This cartridge overall length of 1.235 seems to be fitting this barrel pretty good with that wide round nose on it. This barrel hasn't been throated like that Colt, so let's see what we can do for numbers now.
Now, I don't attribute that to these wild-ass numbers, but I attribute that to just bad shooting. So, what can we say about this? Quick loads gives us an idea of what we're doing, and then it's up to me to carefully load that right there. 7.8 grains of power pistol. I have to look at it now as what has changed, what's different, how have I failed on this? Well, let me change hands here. For one thing, I don't know where I got the 211 grains. I must have pulled that right out of my big fat butt. The actual weight, where the hell have I got it written down? Oh my Lord. It's somewhere here. We'll get, oh, there it is. There it is. 209 grains. Okay, so there's only 2 grain? Let's see, 209, 210, 2, yeah, 2 grain difference. But that's, we're actually shooting -2 grains. So maybe that had something to do with what Quick Load said. I don't know. According to Quick Loads, we're supposed to get 757, I believe it was, out of 7.8 grains of power pistol. As it turns out, we're booking. We're really booking. And I was very careful. I checked my overall length, and I have been throwing these charges on that brass smith, and I've been monitoring the brass smith with this little 50 milligram. It's a pharmaceutical scale or something, but it'll weigh like 700 or 800 grains. But I bought this thing so I could monitor how accurate the brass smith throws. So when I'm putting together a little group like this, I'm putting each one of the cases on here and zero it out. Of course, when I crank it up, I'll let it sit there about 30 seconds and warm up, And then I'll use that 50 milligram weight to calibrate it. I mean, this calibrates quick. This responds quick. This is a real nice scale. And it reads in hundredths of a grain. All right, now, don't start saying, oh, hundredths of a grain, horseshit, doesn't mean anything. Well, let me show you what it means. I mean, this just occurred to me today. All right, like I said, I bought this to monitor that brass smith and see just how accurate that really is. And so now today, while I'm weighing out that first run that I avoided, I noticed that I was getting, I got a couple at 786 and then I think 3 at 7.84 grains. So we're not really concerned with, the hundredths here. We're looking for 7.8, just like a beam would tell you. All right, now we got 1,002 average out of that. We had one error, and then that one I pushed off. Shit, I'm lucky I didn't hit that chronograph, I guess. I don't know. There it is, 1,002. Now, a long time before I got a chronograph, and a long time before I ever knew anything about quick loads, so I used to come in here. Now here, this is Lyman 45237 it's a round nose 225 grain cast. They're calling for 1.272 overall length, but of course ours is cut off a little bit here on the nose where that hollow point cavity comes in. That's why we got a discrepancy in this number here. Anyhow, I used to kind of fear these load tables. In other words, if I go above that 7.0 and 865 and 16,300 psi, what is that, cup? Yeah, cup. If I went above that, I'm going to blow myself up. But then I started noticing the quick load numbers that other guys are using, and they go past this. So they're just taking the fear factor out of this. They're taking the lawyer's input out of the tables, because we can go much higher in pressure. Look at all these other pressures here. Let's see. There's an 18,000 psi. That's our ceiling. Here's 17.3. So we know we can go higher than that. Anyway, so what I did way back then is I used to try to predict where I would be speed-wise between the minimum and the maximum load. So I thought about it for a while and thought, well, I got to have some kind of formula that might tell me horsepower. I mean, not horsepower defined, just kind of a redneck version of horsepower for power pistol. I know, you're all lost at this point. Let me just get to it. So what I did is I divided the 865 feet per second by 7 grains, and I discovered there on the maximum end that I was making 123.5 feet per second per grain. I did the low end, divided the, I'm burping like crazy, 764 feet per second, divide that by 6.3 grains, and I come up with 121.2 feet per second. So that tells me that anything between 6.3 and 7 grains is going to be running somewhere in between these ratios. So if I were going to guess, and I had no idea what I'd get speed-wise between low and high, I'd use like a 122.0 feet per second per grain to guess something in between. All right, so that works out for all of them. Not this number for all these up through here. All the numbers change, so you have to keep it to a particular powder, a particular cast, a particular overall length, a particular weight, and it only applies to that load line right there. All right? All right, so that's your introduction. The way I was looking at this number up here, I got the 922 feet per second out of this cast here. That's an MP mold, but it's real close. It's 206 grains. Got to looking at that number, and I go, well, what do I need to do to boost it up and get what I want? And I was kind of looking for 950. All right, this has got nothing to do with it. So we're talking feet per second per grain. So I'm looking at one of the results we had, 922 feet per second. We were using 7.5 grains, so I was getting 122.9 feet per second per grain. Okay, so I run that progression a little bit. If I increase to 7.6, I ought to get about 934. Well, I want 950. 7.7 times that, 946. That's close there. 7.8 grains give us about 958. All right, so that's more like it. I can believe in that. So Eli runs the numbers, and 7.8 tells us we're going to get 957 feet per second. So here I'm pretty confident in that number right there. So after running that first run and getting this 1,002 feet per second for 7 point, I had, I think, did I say it before, about 2 of these and 3 of these at that weight. Right here, 2 and 3. And I ended up getting 127.48 feet per second per grain. That's a little high. That's outside of any of these numbers here. It's outside of this here on the high side using just the regular parent cast. Oh man, that hardly sounded good, don't it? Let's see. So 123.5, I'm above that. Something's wrong. So I come here on that second run we just did. 7.8 grains, 999 feet per second. And that, on that one, I noticed that I had one load that was 7.82 grains and 4 of them that were 7.8, right on the money. Like I said, I'm using that little booger there. That comes out at 128 feet per second per grain. Way above rational numbers like these. Way above what we actually have been getting. So I'm looking for something that's less than this, or if anything, only maybe 1 foot per second faster. So obviously, there's a problem here today. I am not getting this hollow point test tube test 7 in the can today. I got some mulling to do. I got to figure out what the hell's wrong. I do have this quick loads program coming in the mail, and I'll be able to run my own numbers without pestering Eli anymore. And the gel, that's in the mail. Oh my God, it's been in the mail for about 6 weeks now. it's lost on a tricycle somewhere heading between the East Coast and here. So anyway, gonna have to get back to you on this one. We're gonna have to call this video Hollow Point Test Tube Test 7 Confusion.
Lazy bone, sleeping in the sun. How you expect to get your day's work done? You never get your day's work done.